magical
Madness.
Hello, Austin.
Good morning, Madison. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and welcome to Coffee Talk, where we're going to talk about all Disney movies that bring us nostalgia, or there will be spoilers in these. It's movies, shows, topics. They will have spoilers, but this is what Coffee Talk's all about.
All about
It's all about. And today, we are going to take what I'd like to call a ride in a spaceship to a galaxy.
far,
That,
far away.
it could be a galaxy far, far away, but it's a known galaxy to us.
Is it Star Wars? Are we talking about Star Wars today?
We're not talking about
Oh.
Star Wars today, but we are talking about a gang of friends that come together to battle things in a galaxy. Some like to call those friends Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That is what we were talking about today.
Which one?
We're talking about the first one mainly, but we'll obviously talk about all things Guardians. So if you did not catch our episode this week already, we talked a lot about the Guardians ride in Epcot, and I thought, what a better movie to talk about today than the Guardians
Of course,
movie.
why not? Yeah.
Yep. So Guardians.
I'm gonna be honest. I might have trouble remembering some of this stuff.
Yeah,
from that movie.
That's okay. But can you believe that this movie came out 11 years ago? It came
That's
out
crazy.
in 2014.
That's actually wild.
Which sounds crazy to me because I feel like I remember watching it just yesterday or today. Maybe I did.
That's why you were watching that. I see.
This movie was, I think, one of the first Marvel movies that really kicked off like the Marvel comedy movie.
Yeah.
And I thought this movie does it the best.
Yeah.
And has one of the best playlists that you can listen to.
For sure.
And
That's partly what that movie's known for, I feel like.
yes, I mean, it does wrap around the storyline a lot too, because that's the thing that Peter Quill has a connection to with his mom, was the
That's right.
awesome mix.
His cassette player?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
The cassette. And he even goes so far as making everybody else leave when when they're escaping the prison so that he can go back and get his cassette player.
Yeah.
He's like, you are not taking my awesome mix. This
There's
is
one
all
thing
I
I'm
have
going to
with
say.
my mom.
It's my cassette player.
It's my cassette player. So
I had one once.
a cassette player.
Yep. I was at an arcade, and it was one of those things where the prizes were actually pretty decent,
Okay.
and I didn't know how to select my prize.
Okay.
I ended up selecting a cassette player. There were so many other great prizes in there, and I got a cassette player.
Did it
Very
have,
disappointing.
like, what was the cassette, like, was there a cassette with it?
No.
Like,
My grandparents ended up giving me some old gospel tapes.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I don't have any cassettes to put in this. Like, I got some for you.
Yeah, you could probably get some from like Disc Replay or something if like you wanted to get something that maybe you knew.
Yeah.
But
All in all, it was very disappointing, but whatever.
But I wonder how much if he were to sell that awesome mix cassette player that his mom got, how much he would get for that. Because part of his thing is he is someone that steals things and sells them.
Right.
So for a profit,
Yeah.
that's
He's a thief.
that he's a thief.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder, not that he would sell his mom's, but maybe if he had like, I don't know, his grandpa's, maybe how much would that get him in the galaxy?
Who knows? Wouldn't get you much today here in our galaxy.
But maybe there.
One day, though, who knows? Like VHS and cassette players might be worth some money.
It might be worth some money.
They've got to at some point.
Yeah, I would think so.
Anything that's not made anymore, someday down the road, it'll
Yeah.
be worth something.
Yes. But this particular one meant a lot more to Peter Quill than just some songs. They remind him of his dying mother, which that's how this movie starts off. Starts off with his mom dying, and then you hit a great soundtrack with him dancing and stealing something which is the orb, which we find out later is the Infinity Stone, which I there are so many Marvel movies, so I don't know if this is like the first introduction into the Infinity Stone. I don't think it is. I think we kind of get the Infinity Stone in Thor before this, but this is like your first, if I'm remembering correctly, this is my first introduction to, one of my favorites, my boy Thanos.
Yes.
This is the one of the first introductions that you get
Yeah.
to Thanos.
Yep.
And he is epic. He's great. We love Thanos. But
You specifically love Thanos.
yeah, I don't know why I said we. It's me. I love Thanos. I think he's great. He's one of my favorite villains, but I understand.
Yeah.
I think I just like him a lot.
So what? 'Cause I'm
And
gonna be honest with you. I don't. Again, like I don't remember a whole lot of this movie because it's been a long time.
yeah.
But what? So explain the overall plot
So the
to me.
overall plot is he's stealing this orb. He doesn't really know why he's stealing it,
Mm-hmm.
but he's stealing it to make money, and people are trying to kill him to get the orb. And he, the orb has the Infinity Stone in it.
Okay.
So in the process of stealing it, we have the storyline of I think it's the Creed or Cree, pe- people, which is like the bad guy in this story. He's trying to kill all the Xandarians.
There you go.
He's trying to basically eliminate the planet of Xandar.
Mm-hmm.
He hates them, and he's working with Thanos to do that, and Thanos wants the orb.
Yeah.
So he gets the orb for Thanos. He takes the Infinity Stone for himself, and he's like, I'm better than you, Thanos. I'm going to go kill the Xandarians myself. And in that process, there's the storyline of Peter Quill, who is Star Lord, who is Chris Pratt,
Mm-hmm.
and he is also trying to take the orb so that he can make more money than what he was going to get from the other person. And then he also has a bounty on him, which is where we get introduced to Groot and
Yes.
Rocket.
Yeah.
And they are trying to turn in Peter Quill so they can get money. And then we get Gamora in there, who is trying to go against Thanos, whose Thanos is her dad. Her, well, she was stolen by him, and he calls her daughter. It's fine.
Yeah.
Weird.
A
But
little strange.
a little strange, but he basically like grew up to be just warrior, and that's her daughter, and that's his favorite daughter. And she's trying to go against them because she doesn't want him to kill all the Xandarians or get all of the Infinity Stones, which is his like automatic goal.
Yeah.
And so they end up going to prison together. That's where we meet Drax. And they get out of prison, and then they kind of are forced to become the Guardians together, and then they become friends, and then they fight the bad guy, and then Groot sacrifices himself. Do you remember that part?
Vaguely.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Vaguely.
Star-Lord
Groot's
has the
the tree
dance.
man.
Yeah, he's the tree man. I am Groot. And he sacrifices himself to save the Guardians, and he goes, I am Groot, and then he's gone. But then we find out at the end, Groot, he can be replanted.
Yeah. You can replant and grow another Groot.
Yes, you can
Yeah.
replant and grow another Groot. It's okay. But that was a very emotional part for me the first time I watched this, but it was such a good Marvel movie.
Yeah. It kind of so that was like the first one that involved some comedy into that level.
That level of
Yeah.
comedy, I think.
Is
There
it-
because there's punchlines the entire movie. And some say that they do go too far, Marvel does in some of their later like movies, but I think this one really it was good. It was
Very good mixture.
very good mixture, all different like personalities, and just fun to watch, and also great music the whole time. So I think any movie that has great music makes the movie like far superior. So if it has
Agreed.
like music that brings you happiness outside of that movie
Yep.
and then reminds you of that movie, like that it's going to be a great movie.
For me, like if there's a song in that movie that outside of that movie I never would have listened to ever,
Yeah.
but because of that movie,
Yeah.
you like will go out of your way to listen to that song.
Yes.
They did their job.
Yep.
And there's definitely some movies that have done that for me where
Yeah.
I never would have listened to this song, but because I've seen this movie, I have this connection now.
Yep.
And yeah, it's cool.
And then they do
do that.
continue that throughout all of their movies. So there is 3 Guardians of the Galaxy's movies now. Like there's volume 2, volume 3. We're mainly just talking about the first one today, but I did want to ask you a question because I had a feeling you wouldn't remember everything about this movie because, to be fair, the Guardians do show up in a lot more Marvel movies outside of this one, so it is hard to
Yeah, they
just
do.
differentiate.
And yeah, I'm really bad with specifically Marvel. Like I haven't seen
Yes.
a ton of them, and
Yeah.
I'm really bad with understanding how everything's working together,
Mm-hmm.
especially between all the separate movies. But
Yes, and it is hard to keep track of all of those, but this one is one of my favorites. So, um, I just I think this one just really hit it off. But my question for you is, who is your favorite out of the Guardians? And I'm talking the original 5. So Gamora, Star Lord, Rocket, Groot, and Drax. Who is your favorite out of those?
it would be between Rocket and Groot.
You think so?
Yeah, but I do like Chris Pratt, obviously,
Yeah,
because
Star
we
Lord.
did name our dog after him.
Well, we named him.
That was more you, but
Well,
I did agree. I did
it
agree
wasn't
to
from
it.
this movie. It wasn't
Okay,
from
right.
this movie.
Yes, I know.
But it does make me like this movie more.
Yeah. I would say I don't know. I would say Rocket.
Rocket.
I'm not sure why. I just like his character.
Yeah.
He played a very important role in the third one.
Yes.
Too.
It was
Very-
mainly the storyline was about him and
Yeah.
how he was created.
Mhm.
Rocket is my favorite too.
Oh, is it really?
It is, yes. It's very close with Star-Lord,
Mhm.
but Star-Lord is more because of Chris Pratt. But as far as just character goes, it's definitely Rocket. Like he is the glue, and one of my favorite things is like his relationship with Groot is
Yeah.
it's so good. And also his relationship with everybody else. I think I like him because he's super sarcastic, but that's how he shows his love to everybody.
Yeah.
And his banter with Star-Lord is so good.
Yeah.
And it just gets better throughout the movies and then the specials and then his banter that he eventually has with I'm Nebula. I was like Gamora's sister.
Yeah.
Nebula is super good, and I just think that his character really evolves like throughout all of the Marvel universe as you see him more. So he's definitely my favorite too. I'm glad
Wow.
that we had the same
We
favorite.
did.
I
I
didn't
was
think that
surprised.
we would. Yeah.
I figured yours would for sure be Star Lord.
He's definitely second for
close.
me. I do think they kind of ruined Star Lord a little bit during some of the later Marvel movies, but if we're just looking at the original Guardians movie, probably Star Lord in that for sure.
Nice.
So yeah. And then we can kind of talk about how Guardians has evolved through the rest of so Guardians was started out with this movie and then it was really good, very edgy and has these great songs in it.
Yeah.
And then it led to our favorite ride
Yep.
in Epcot. There's also a Guardians Mission Breakout that's in Disneyland that neither of us have ridden.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's like
Oh, that's the one that's like the Tower of the Terror. Tower of Terror.
Terror. Yes.
Tower of the Terror.
Tower of the Terror.
Tower of Terror.
But both of these have the storyline that's going back to the original Guardians of the Galaxy. So it doesn't have anything to do with like the rest of them. But
So it's based off the first one.
yes, it's
Okay.
based off the first one, which I just enjoyed that there's like this movie was I like when a movie is so good and you have this attachment to a movie and then you also get to experience it later like in a form of a ride or you get to experience particularly like the Guardians, they just get to show up just because of their nature.
Right.
They kind of get to show up in all the other Marvel films.
Yeah.
And it's pretty seamless compared to like I don't know, you'll see like I accidentally hit the mic.
Oh, it's okay.
You will see like different characters kind of show up, but it doesn't feel natural. But with them, it always feels very natural. So I really like that.
Yeah.
So they easily, after I seen this one, they easily became my favorites. And then Thor's like my original favorite superhero. So then when you have like the later banter with Star-Lord and Thor, it's like how'd they
Well,
know?
now they're in a Ray-Ban commercial together.
They are, yes.
Chris Pratt and
And Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
in their commercial.
those new Ray-Bans that have
The Ray-Ban glasses.
the meta and the cameras in them and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, great combo. I like
Great
this.
combo.
I wonder if they'll ever throw some Marvel stuff in there. Who knows?
They could. I
Yeah,
feel like
in
you
those
could
commercials.
easily look at like a Marvel something
Yeah.
in those in those glasses, but yeah, so that was just a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy. There wasn't too much that I wanted to go into about this one. One of my favorite things that have come from this is the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
I was gonna ask you about that before we ended this. Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved that
Yeah.
one. So we got
It's like 30, 40 minutes or something. Maybe
Yeah.
not even 30
I
minutes.
think it's like
really-
40 minutes
Yeah.
and it has Kevin Bacon in it. Like,
That's
are you
right.
serious? Yes, this is
Where-
awesome.
Where in the world did that come from?
Well, Kevin Bacon comes from the original, like the first movie. Sorry, Chris Pratt did want to talk on this one because this is about him.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned his name a little too many times.
Yes,
Here.
we did.
That's getting
And-
me riled up.
But the Kevin Bacon comes from the original Guardians of the Galaxy. He talks about how much he loves Footloose, and he does talk about that through the rest of, because he has the dance off, and then he talks about his music. So
Yeah,
Star-Lord,
they're trying to kidnap him for Star-Lord's birthday, right?
for a Christmas
Christmas
present.
present, yeah.
Yes, because he's sad because Gamora's gone. Yes. So they want to make him feel better. But yeah, that's just a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy. And
That was a great one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to end this because our dog will not calm down.
yes,
But we're pretty much out of time anyway.
yes, we are out of time, but we did mention Chris Pratt a little too much, so
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have to show him some extra love, just like we showed Star-Lord some extra love this week.
For sure.
Yes.
It's been a very good week for Disney news,
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy specifically,
Yes.
and all of that stuff.
Yes, so grab your cup of coffee this week, watch Guardians, and get excited to ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind with no virtual queue.
Love it. Amen.
All right, that's it for today.
All right, guys, catch us on YouTube, listen to us on all major platforms, and like and subscribe if you can.
Yes, we'll
Thank you
see
for
you
listening.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.